Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna and I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're going to be doing some product updates, just a quick speed review video, going through some of the things I've been testing out, trying out in the background, and letting you know how they performed. Yeah, these are things that I've either featured in a video or vlog, kind of first impressions, that kind of thing, but haven't given me like a firm opinion on them. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're just going to talk all about some hair care, skincare, and beauty. Alright, let's get into the products. Before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, on to the beauty. I'm drinking water with cherry blackberry Mio in it, and it is delicious. That's my new favorite flavor from Mio. I'm a fan of the Mios, but that flavor, it's my favorite. I like the black cherry, but this blackberry cherry is a whole nother ball game of deliciousness. So first thing I want to talk about is the Revolution Beauty. This is the Eternal Icon palette. They have this in, I think, 4 different colorways, and they're just called the Icon palettes. And this particular colorway is the Eternal Icon. It's a really kind of almost earthy colors. It has a really pretty, like, kind of foresty green section right here. It's got a nice, like, green topper shade. It's a really cool concept and formulation. Everything about this is really fun. Now, it's kind of like taking a Huda palette and mixing it with a Patrick Ta palette. You got the mattes along the bottom, the shimmers along the top, you got 2 cream shades. And what makes it like a Huda palette is that it has like the kind of special shades, the way Huda has like the swirly shades and different formulations. It's got some that going on as well, but the color story and everything is very much, to me, pretty original to this palette. It's not like, I don't think, duping anything. They have a cool tone one, they have one that's more kind of looks like pastels and dual chromatic, very soft and pretty ethereal, but this color story really spoke to me. Now, I do want the others, now that I've played with this and fell in love with the formulation, it made me want the other ones because it's so good. Now, there's one little dud in here, and that is this cream right here. It's just kind of greasy and not the formula I want to put on my eyelid, but that's one dud out of a $12 palette, and I can probably use that on the lips or cheeks or somewhere else, and it would do fine. It's just not one that I want to put on my eyelids. But if you like a glossy lid, perhaps that's what they were going for with this. I don't know. I feel like they were trying out a lot of different things in this palette, a lot of different formulations going on here. So there's that. Then you have this one that over here, it's a little bit stiffer and actually works okay to kind of blank out the lid a little bit. So there's that. The cream shades, they're whatever. You have this beautiful green kind of topper shade over here that is really, really fun. Adds a lot of sparkle. You can just kind of pat it over the lid on top of a shade or on its own, and it looks really pretty and kind of sweet and ethereal and glowy and all of that jazz. But it's a really pretty color. It has a bit of a green tinge to it, but it's not like super duper opaque. Like, it's definitely like a sparkly kind of topper shade. Really pretty, really, really pretty. I did a look with it by itself, and I've used it in conjunction with the green down here. Really nice pairing. This shade right here is a deep rose gold with a purple swirl within it, and it is gorgeous. I'm gonna swatch it for you. The mattes in here are very creamy as well. They feel very, very smooth and blendable. I mean, look at that color. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I mean, it is a very, very deepened rose gold color, like almost a cranberry. I love it. I think it is so pretty. You have this lovely olive shade right here that is a little bit more toned down, a little bit more restrained. You can use it to kind of deepen up, and a lot of versatility with it. Again, just super, super smooth formulation. I mean, oh, I love that color. I love this kind of bronzy olive tone. And then you have what feels kind of like a super shock shadow right here. The next shade over, which is a gorgeous, super metallic copper shade. Performs beautifully on the lid. And then you have a stunning, kind of a bright, springy forest green. that makes sense. I love it. I absolutely love that shade. So yeah, beautiful metallics. Beautiful. And then along the bottom row, you have some super buttery, blendable matte shades. Like a really pretty green that matches the metallic. Great pigmentation, easy to work with. There's a little, I think the quality here is pretty awesome, and the formulations are really fun and innovative for the drugstore, and it's affordable. It's $12 for colorways, and each palette looks very different. It has something very special about each one. And I think that's really interesting. Like, they definitely are doing something kind of pretty creative with their palettes right now. And these are gorgeous. I think it performed wonderfully, and I would like to get the other Icon palettes, because this one was so good. And again, the price point is pretty unbeatable for the quality and versatility of the palette. You could do a lot with these colors in here, and yeah, I think it's a unique color story as well. Revolution Beauty did a wonderful job on this palette, and I am so happy that I picked it up because I've had so much fun with it. Next up, we have this Clinique Chubby Stick. This is the Clinique Chubby Stick that says for sculpting and contour. Now, I would not personally use this for contouring because it is really warm. I'm gonna swatch it down here. I had a bruise. I've got bruises like all over my arm. I don't know what's happening here, and I'm gonna be covered in swatches, but we'll swatch it on this arm. That's a very warm brown and very pigmented. That's a lot, okay? So for me, this actually makes a really good bronzing shade. If I apply it more in a broader application with a light hand, it gives a very nice warm bronze look to the skin that suits my skin tone okay. You see, it blends out really, really easily. It's just one that if you're fair, I would definitely recommend a light hand and kind of less is more approach. I usually take a little bit on the brush and then apply it from there, not go straight in with the Chubby Stick, but it's a really nice shade once it's blended out. And yeah, just a light hand. It is buildable. Yeah. This one I like if I'm going for a really just truly bronzed look, like I actually went out and got some sunlight type of look. It works great for that. But I disagree with the marketing of this being a contour shade, and it is called Curvy Contour. Now, this is straight up bronzer. Very much bronzer product. You can get a little sculpt from it inherently because you can do that with bronzer. You can kind of that bronzer effect. It will give a little bit of sculpt to the face, the same way blush will or anything else, but I wouldn't call this specifically a contour product. Contour products tend to be a little bit more cool in undertone. This is very, very warm, and it's going to be warm on everybody, I think. It definitely has a bit of an orange undertone, but it's not a bad product. I think it has its place in my makeup collection as far as bringing in that warmth when I want to do that, because I don't have a ton of bronzers that kind of have that tone to it. And the formulation is really nice. It really does blend very easily. I think that a good dupe of this would be Wet n Wild's Mega Glow Stick, and I think it's Where's Walnuts. Very similar. I mean, very, very similar. All right, and next up is the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. This foundation is wonderful. I have it on today, and I've put a little bit of setting spray over top and a little bit of powder with it. You don't have to powder. The only reason I put powder on is because I was actually demoing this foundation and a powder for another video. So I have powder on, but this is a self-setting foundation. It will set on its own. You don't have to powder it. It will go down to a pretty matte finish. I think I can, if I add a little bit of setting spray to it, it tends to give it a little bit more of a dewy look overall, but it still is very much locked in there all day. The wear time on this is insane. I do have a full review and wear test. I'll link over here, but just to reiterate my thoughts on this, it is a wonderful foundation and I thoroughly enjoy it. I think the shade match is pretty dang good on me as well. This is the shade Fair Cool 4. I'm still thoroughly loving this one in this super hot weather we've been having. It's held up great. And yeah, with a glowy base, I think this looks so pretty. Like if you put some Lemmy lotion underneath it or like a flawless filter, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous, but on its own, it does offer a skin-like satin leaning matte finish, but not super duper matte, and it's not glowy either. It's a very soft satin finish. Has kind of that soft focus look to it, but I wouldn't call it a super duper flat matte at all. It's very skin-like, if you will. As well as oily skin types, you're gonna love this because it's gonna lock in and wear all day really well and kind of work with your skin. But yeah, I don't think that if you're dry that you couldn't use this either. As long as you just moisturize your skin like you normally would and you're good to go, honestly. I have been having some drier skin lately for some reason. I don't know why. My skin's been really dry lately and it's done just fine. I've worn it on days where I've had some very irritated skin and it's done great as well. In under every condition that I've tried it, it's performed nicely, and you can touch up pretty easily throughout the day if you need to, and you can add powder if you need a little extra longevity from it or a little bit of oil control. Should you have some oil breakthrough, you can powder this and you can adjust the finish with your primer, like with a flawless filter or like a Lumi lotion or a more mattifying primer. You can definitely tweak it in that way. It's just a really good solid type of foundation that's going to wear beautifully, and the coverage level is so versatile. You get incredibly light coverage from this all the way up to full coverage to where it will conceal everything and hide every single freckle, flaw, whatever. It can do it all. It can kind of do a little bit of everything, so it's a really versatile. I personally think this is one of the best ones that I've tried. Drugstore, high-end, regardless. This is a very nice foundation. I have two things from Moroccan Oil to update you on. First is the dry shampoo, and this is actually for light toned hair, and it actually has a little bit of a purple look to it there on the nozzle. This is a really nice dry shampoo. I have lighter-ish hair, but it tends to go very brassy, so I like anything that can combat with the brassiness. So yeah, that's why I wanted to test this out. So they sent me this little mini guy. Wonderful fragrance, very effective. It doesn't leave a super duper heavy white cast or anything like that. It's very easy to work in, and yeah, it can, I think, is meant to kind of tone your hair a little bit and add a little bit purple to it to prevent some, to kind of mask some brassiness. And I think it's a really cool concept. And yeah, it's a really good dry shampoo. Lovely. Love the fragrance and good stuff. The hair oil. I love the hair oil. Oh, this is a nice hair oil, regardless of the toning component to it. Just the hair oil itself is really good. But I have the one that is the Moroccan Oil treatment with a little bit of purple pigment in it. And it has, I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand here so you can see. It has a bit of purple pigment within it. And you can just use it like you would any other hair oil. And it will kind of help over time to balance out brassiness and kind of help combat the brassiness with a little bit of purple pigment. And it works really well, I think. It's not going to like make this crazy overnight change in your hair, depending on how deep your hair is. I think maybe if you have platinum blonde hair, you're going to see it more so than I do in my hair. But it does do something. And I love the formula itself, though. It makes my hair look so shiny and so smooth. Takes down the frizz without weighing my hair down a ton. It doesn't feel like I put a heavy oil in my hair. It feels very smooth, very healthy and nice, and oh, I like it. And the fragrance is so good, and a little bit goes a long way. So this little guy is gonna last me quite some time. And yeah, I'm really liking it. And I think the concept of putting the toning in this and the dry shampoo is a really innovative, cool idea. And I think Moroccan Oil is a brand that I've used on and off for years. now, and they've never disappointed. I've always liked them. One more thing for hair. This is the X Mondo Wave Tech Wave Foam. This smells wonderful. I like the fragrance of it. It's very lightweight. It doesn't weigh the hair down at all, but it offers almost next to no hold. It will give a little bit of volume, a little bit of that beachy look to the hair, but it doesn't have a ton of hold. But I don't think it's meant to have a lot of hold. It says to get sexy defined waves without the crunch, and yeah, zero crunch. I think it pairs up wonderfully with a gel to give some really nice volume and definition. It's really good for next day for refreshing, but it's not a holy grail product. I've been testing out quite a lot of foams lately, and I think maybe I'm just not a foam girl. That being said, if you enjoy foams and have like wavy curly hair, you might like this. It just may, I don't know, maybe these foams really aren't my cup of tea. Like I said, I've been testing out a handful of them lately from different brands, and I feel like I have to use so much of this to get any effect. Aside from a little bit of volume and fullness, I think I prefer a mousse. I don't think there's enough hold here and enough oomph to it. It just feels like it's just not enough for me. I would rather my Marc Anthony mousse or my Not Your Mother's mousse over this foam stuff, but I like the foams for refreshes. For next day, if my hair's gone a little crazy, a little wonky when I wake up, I can throw some of this in it when it's slightly damp and kind of revive my hair. So there is that. That's a good perk of the foams. But I don't think, I overall have not been impressed with any of the foams where I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I think it's just more of a preference thing of the formula. I think it's not specifically this particular foam that I feel that way about. I think I feel that way about all the foams that I've tried. But anyway, it's not bad. It's just kind of a meh product. It's meh. I think I just might not be a foam girly. It didn't impress me. Didn't wow me like I wanted it to do. So I'm going to continue trying out some different foams from different brands and see if there's maybe some magic one out there that is incredible. I do want to try the Verb one with Mains by Mel that she helped formulate, because that one sounds really up my alley. But as far as the X Mondo one, once I use this up, I'm not gonna like purchase it or anything. It's fine. It's just not anything. It's not anything to write home about. I have a foam from Shea Moisture that does basically the exact same thing in my hair. So skincare, I've got 3 things for skincare. First up is the Dr. Dennis Gross Creamy Cleansing Oil. This is lovely. This is a wonderful cleansing oil. It has vitamin C within it, and it is soap free, breaks down SPF, makeup, all the things. You can use it as your first cleanse to, you know, break down all the makeup and all of that jazz. And you can do it a second time as a cleanser as well. I use it as my first step, like I do with any other cleansing balm or cleansing oil, then follow with a regular cleanser. Usually I'm using the Derma E one, but this is a really nice cleansing oil. I enjoy a good cleansing oil, cleansing balm type of thing. Squeezy tube, it's a little bit neater and cleaner. This is a fairly thick formula. Like, it's not, she ain't thin. It has a really fresh orange scent to it. Smells really good. And it does have the vitamin C within. It is meant to, you know, do some good things for the skin. But yeah, it's really good. I enjoy this a lot. I love a good cleansing balm and cleansing oil. This one, it has a very nice texture to it. It does break down makeup beautifully. It will burn your eyes just a little bit because of the vitamin C formulation. There's something about it that does kind of sting the eyes a little, but it otherwise does a great job. And if I don't have a lot of heavy makeup on or SPF that day, I'll use this as my one and done cleanser. But most of the time, this is my first step in my cleansing routine. But yeah, I quite like this one. It's really nice. I have liked every single skincare thing I've tried from Dr. Dennis Gross. They're all so good. and I enjoy their vitamin C line and the alpha beta line, their anti-aging products. So yeah, that's a really nice cleansing balm though if you're looking for one. It is more on the expensive side of things, but it's a really nice formulation, and if it's in your budget and you like cleansing balms and cleansing oils, you'll enjoy that one. Lastly, for skincare, I have two things from Misha. This is from their Time Revolution. This is from the Time Revolution line. This is the Retinol 500 shot cream right here, and the Retinol 500 shot ampule. These you can buy together in a set or separately, and I think these are really, really nice. Look how much I've used. I'm almost done with the ampule. Really cool product. You do this weird little twist situation, it bursts an ampule inside, so the product is super fresh. And yeah, really nice serum, soaks into the skin, and this cream is very moisturizing, very effective. I think the retinol in here is quite potent. My skin seems to really be enjoying it. It seems effective. I've been using it for over a month now, and I'm really, really liking it. This has been my current nighttime skincare routine, is these two right here. Tons of benefits and claims I'll have on the screen about these, but I'm thoroughly enjoying them. Again, Misha is another of those brands that I have enjoyed everything that I've tried from as well. And yeah, these are no exception. I'm loving them. I think they work great, and cannot wait to try more stuff from Misha. I think their products are pretty stellar, and their skincare, wonderful, wonderful skincare. And that is all for today as far as products to update you on and speed reviews. Hopefully this isn't a super long video. I feel like I just ramble when it comes to talking about products. I could sit here for hours and just talk to you about makeup, and I don't know why I am that way, but I am. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know down below if you have tried any of the products that I talked about here today, your thoughts, your opinions, questions, comments, concerns, whatever. Leave them in the comments, and let me know if you are on the wavy curly side of things. The foams, not mousses, foams. Which ones have you used and found effective? Because they all don't seem to be doing a whole lot for me. Now the Briogeo one, that's a different type of thing. We'll talk about that another day. But as far as the Sexmondo one, Shea Moisture, they seem to be doing the exact same thing in my hair. I don't know. I'm just, is the Verb foam, gel foam worth checking out? Let me know that in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay spooky. Bye now.